Okay, so I've given my heads a layer of MSC and let it dry for a few minutes. And I'm going to just start with this guy, giving him another layer of blushing. And I'm going to go now with a darker color on him. Now that I've laid down the foundation of the lighter color, kind of just give me a guideline of where I want it to be, where I want it to look. So again, we're just going to dot it in there. It doesn't matter if you use too much because you can always take it off with a melamine sponge. So we want to do the forehead. So basically you want it to be so that like the highlights of where it sticks out the most will have no color. And this is a good way to give yourself a line for brows. And again, you can do multiple layers to give it an overall smoother appearance. And so you want like the cheek to be highlighted, because usually when you see shadows on people, this is the point here. So it's almost like a W. And this is where you're going to do the blushing. If you're just adding blushing too, I would just go around this area here and then blend. And just make it kind of rounded. And then we're going to go under that jaw. If you don't like how heavy it is, again, you could just use the melamine sponge to take it out of the spots you don't mean it to be in. Like that. But don't forget when you do that, it actually does take off the MSC as well. Chin. Side of the nose. And so I don't know if you can see the difference. I can see the highlights, the lows. But I mean, this is always going to look kind of rudimentary until you get the layers down and you get eyelining and stuff like that. And over the temple. So here is an example of a more professional face-up. You can see they've done the forehead, the cheek, eye area, around the jawline and behind the chin. And this one actually has blue under the eye and over the chin here, and a little bit on the sides, just like I'd said earlier. You can have blue up here in this area as well. Now you don't want the blue to be too stark. You just want it to be like enough to kind of give us that human look, because like our skin isn't smooth and perfect like a doll's would be. And so this is a finished face up, so you can see where they've done blue versus the pink. This one's blushed not too heavily in person. I don't know how much you can pick that up on the camera, but you can see probably that I've given it the same kind of spots before I go in with blue. And I may or may not use the blue just based on the color. So this is a Ringdoll Sun Sea for reference. Yeah, so that's it for blushing. Really easy. And then once you've done the blushing, you can do the lining and everything else. Brows, just remember that they should be sisters, not twins, otherwise it looks uncanny. So a little bit of difference is always nice. Although I guess these ones are pretty close to the same, but you can see one's a little bit different than the other. And that's pretty much it. Lashes are pretty easy, and again I have another tutorial with just lashes and how to use them, the paint I use, how I erase, and tips and tricks for that. So I just want to say thank you for joining me for my blushing tutorial. I appreciate you being here with me again. And there we go.